I think a little bit of a buzz going on this year, especially with now first year being able to qualify for the national championships, and so there's a little extra piece out there for everybody to kind of shoot for or reach for. And it's been a long journey. I mean, these guys have been working their tails off now for the last handful of months to get ready, and it's coming up this weekend. So everybody is really excited to kind of lay it out and kind of get the first taste of where we're at. Yeah, I mean, this weekend, kind of talking about the meet here for a second first. I mean, this weekend, will be one of our bigger groups besides our Boise trip where we try and take a bunch of people. But I think we'll take about 40 people, 35, 40 people up to the meet this weekend. Kind of just starting, I guess, kind of rattling off the women's side in our sprints group. I think, we have Tori Johnson running the 100. That'll be good. Mackenzie's running the 400. Mackenzie Cleveland running the 400. So they'll kind of get us started with some of the sprint stuff, going into our jumps, that area with the women's side again. Again, Tori high jumping, which would be good. She's a two-time conference champ. We had Emma Hill, who redshirted last year, who I think all marks are looking like she's going to have a pretty big year, which would be really exciting to see. She's worked really hard over the last year to kind of put herself in the spot. We added Chelsea Bone, a transfer out of Clackamas Community College, who, she's a heptathlete who could pretty much do it all. So, we're really looking to see her kind of step in and do some great things. Chase Stevens, who's, another year more experience, should be a great year. Elena Hampton, who redshirted last year for us in the hurdles, we'll kind of bounce around, do some stuff, maybe multi. So should be a good spot with them kind of getting going. Into the distances, not as many kids going. We're still kind of trying to figure out who's going to go and who isn't. A little bit of the injury, not injury, but sick bug over the break. So we're going to be on a little bit of a limited crew. Nicole Peterson is scheduled to go in the mile. Not sure again if she's going to go or not. And then I guess kind of moving backwards onto the men's side, starting over. Carlos Ortiz getting back at it, 60. Just the 60. Brown running the 400. I think in our hurdle group, Andre Gamza, who's our school record holder, broke the school record last year, and then James Phillips, who was right behind him. So they're going to kick off the indoor season with the 60 hurdles, and it looks like they're ready to run pretty darn quick. Moving into some of the field event stuff with them in the long, triple high. James Phillips, who has been our staple in the long jump, will get it going again this year, this weekend. The triple, we've got a couple guys, Gino Brown and Andre. Gino's also hurdling, sorry, Gino. And then I think he's also scheduled for the long. So he's scheduled for three things. We'll kind of see how it all shakes down with what he really does in the end. But I'm trying to rattle through everybody. Obviously, from the sounds of it, we've got people spread out, doing a lot of stuff, into that distance stuff. Noah Wallace, who's a freshman for us, who's, had a really successful high school career, is kind of stepping in now. He'll probably run the 800 this weekend. Judd Lewis, who redshirted outdoors last year but ran indoors, has had a great fall, winter. Will probably run the 3K, He's scheduled in the mile as well, but probably run the 3. And then we'll kind of see, I think, we'll see if anybody else ends up going. I think those will probably be the two for us there. Of course, obviously, Jerret can, I think, speak to them too. That group is incredibly talented. We're taking, I think, 8 women up and 9 men, so a big group. Really excited. Obviously, kind of started off with Josh Cook. That he redshirted all year last year. He was the GNAC the year before. He was the GNAC Outstanding Athlete of the Meet outdoors. So great to have him back in the fold with us. Expecting huge things from him. Caleb Bridge, who was the conference champion outdoors in the shot and disc and had an incredible freshman season, is back. And he's going to do amazing things. Sam Nichols, who was the indoor conference champ. By the way, we have 3 conference champions in the shot put on this team right now, which is kind of cool. So he's back and throwing really well. So we had added a freshman, Jacob Slate, in the hammer and the weight. He's on par to have a really successful year. Joe Dennison is improving a lot in the hammer, in the weight for indoor, and we'll see some big things out of him. And then we have the slew of other kids. Connor Jensen, who is a incredible shot put discus guy out of high school, is throwing really well. Seth Bridge, Caleb's little brother, is having, a great fall. And so we should see good things out of him as well. I feel like I'm missing somebody in there, but I think that's, if I am, sorry, but I think that's a big group of guys that are going to be really, really successful for us. And then on the women's side, I mean, led probably by Katrina Mcdonald and Melissa Osmond. Melissa redshirted last year. I think she's going to be a very big impact person for us in the shot and the weight. So will Christina, who is just every year keeps getting better and better. And I think she will show what she's capable of during this indoor season as well. And then on to outdoor, obviously. And then we have, Tasha Willing, who, has been improving steadily, seems like week by week from, everything, Rachel Bring, a freshman for us, who's going to step right into the group and help be an immediate impact person. Katrina Mcdonald, who redshirted, I always get this confused, but redshirted outdoors, but competed indoors, I believe it was. She's back, and she'll be right in that mix, kind of helping all the way through. So Corey Sprague, who's a transfer for us from Riverside, she'll be a big key in the weight for us. A lot of women, a lot of men. I mean, it's definitely an area where we'll be pretty darn successful, and should be pretty fun to see how we stack up against the rest of the conference. We have a provisional qualifier, so basically you get on a performance list, and you hit a provisional time, you get put on that list. If you hit an auto qualifier time, you're automatically in the meet. Anybody who hits that provisional mark, you're basically, like I said, you're on a list. At some point at the end of the year, they draw a line. If you're above that line, you're in the meet. If you're below that line, you're not in the meet. So the idea is every week to try and improve your mark a little by little to, if you're in that position, to get yourself on the plane, we like to say, to make that trip for indoors to Kansas. And so, I mean, it'll be, and this year will be interesting just because, it's pretty easy to look at things. Track is an interesting beast in the fact that, it's so number driven and it's, very cut and dry that way. And, it's easy, but sometimes it's easy to look at those numbers and see it, but it's a different thing to be involved in it and going for it and shooting for it, to kind of see where we're really at. And so I think we're all really excited to see how everything will kind of shape up as the year progresses, and what we really look like, I guess. I mean, I think everybody's really excited to kind of see how that unfolds.